and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale of the Disrespectful Truth podcast.
Oh, baby.
I am DJ Dyzell, but today I will be simply known as Dyzell. And to my left is my brother JTM, Josh the Man, Mr. Handle It. And this
AKA
is
Mr. No, he didn't.
Yeah, because we about to get real down, dirty, and gritty today. This episode is dedicated to our exes.
Oh, damn.
We're going to talk about toxicity in relationships and how we've learned from our past experiences, because I know a lot of people watch the podcast and be like, how that nigga with a bald head and that fat ugly nigga right there can give relationship advice and life advice. So we're going to talk about some of the things we've been through and experienced with women, and how we were able to learn from them, how they affected us as men. And we're going to share that with y'all. We're going to be real open, honest, and what's the word, Josh, that they be saying that you're going to be
real open, honest,
it's coming
vulnerable.
To me. Vulnerable. You know, we're going to be vulnerable with y'all today. So before we start, Josh, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about this episode?
I was feeling good until, you know.
Nigga, you knew what I made you wear all black for.
But
you see the candle burning. You knew what was going on.
I don't know. I guess it all hit me just now. So we gotta dig.
So it's gonna be a lot of gems dropped in this episode.
Yeah, but you gotta pay attention to them.
A lot of vulnerability here, especially for men. You know, we don't really get to express how we feel because men aren't supposed to have feelings. We're supposed to be hard and with a tough exterior and all that. But me and Josh gonna let y'all into our world, our past, things we've dealt with. And I warned all my exes. I don't know about Josh, but they know this episode coming.
Nobody knew it was coming on my end, but it's at the same
I
time.
I warned them. You know, I let them know I'm about to put all our business online. I'm not gonna use no names, but if you know me, you gonna know who I'm talking about.
It's only a few that I still communicate with or talk to. It's just I'm not using no names. So
I'm not using no names either. Yeah. But if you know me, you gonna know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question we have, and you know, it says, can you describe a situation where you felt your ex displayed toxic behavior? And go, Josh.
I'm going first.
Yeah, I can go first. I mean, but it's up to you.
Yeah, go first. I'm gonna need some time to politic in my mind.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't know if y'all really understand why this is a touchy subject for me. Growing up, I was always the smart kid, the charismatic kid. But I was always called fat, ugly, black. Those three things from first grade all the way up until almost the middle of high school. Girls really didn't pay attention to me like that. I mean, I knew a lot of women. They weren't women then. I knew a lot of girls. They would talk to me, but nobody ever wanted to be Daniel's girlfriend. Nobody ever called Daniel handsome. But I'm talking about this is real talk. This is me being open and honest with y'all. But ain't nobody want to fight me though. Because I was always big like this my whole life, and abnormally strong. So dudes would talk trash, but they get their ass whooped. So
oh my gosh.
It was, I didn't get bullied physically. I would get bullied, verbally. So girls would always talk to me though, and I guess that's why I know women so well, because I was the chunky fat kid that everybody wanted to tell all these secrets to. So as I grew up and I got older, when I graduated from high school and I started getting attention from women, it was very, very hard for me to decipher because I always thought that I was unattractive. But we'll get to my adulthood later. We'll start when I was in high school. I met a young lady, and you ever, and some people can understand this, you ever been the kid that never gets some attention and then one of the prettiest girls in the school want to talk to you? Not to say she was the prettiest girl in the school. I went to the West. But she was very attractive.
Shout out to the West.
Shout out to Miami Northwestern Senior High School class 2007. Anyway, but a lot of guys were attracted to her and stuff like that, but she chose to be interested in me. And that was my first serious relationship in high school. At least I thought it was a serious relationship. And as we get to the end of the story, you'll see why I say that. So I started talking to her, and we talked for about, I'm going to say 3 months. And right before school ended, no, it wasn't right before school ended. We started talking in the beginning of the school year, and then my birthday is in November. So The girl broke up with me on my birthday, y'all. It was crazy. And I was like, okay. And she wrote me this letter and then explained how good of a guy I am and how amazing of a guy I am, but I'm just not what she's looking for, or she's just not ready for the type of relationship I'm offering. So what's crazy is I was very mature for my age, so I was trying to do what a husband would do, I guess. I don't know. I was in high school, so I guess she wasn't used to the type of conversation and type of things that I was doing. And I was like, okay, cool. So a couple of months go by, I graduate, I go off into going to college, and me and her will still talk back and forth. And a lot of things transpired in that part of our relationship. And I don't want to get into that because I don't count what happened in high school. Like, we were kids. You don't really know what's going on. So
man,
I'm not
you better
gonna
get to the toxic trait, because this story can be this entire episode. What did she do that was toxic?
Okay, so I'm just
and how did you handle it?
So the high school Daniel, what I saw was toxic about her was she never wanted to take accountability for the things that she would do wrong.
That's a big one.
Especially things she would do wrong to me in particular. And I was like, I would always bring up, okay, you made me feel this way. And she would always manipulate the situation to make it seem like I'm tripping, to make it seem like I didn't do anything wrong and I shouldn't feel this way. We're only kids. It's not that serious, boom, boom, boom. But it was serious to me. So that was a toxic trait that I didn't even realize was a trait until years later.
That's how it usually is.
I always thought it was my fault. What am I doing wrong? I'm trying to do all these things to be there for this person, and she can just do whatever she wants and I'll take her back. She can just do whatever she wants and she'll say whisper some sweet nothing to me to make it all better. I give y'all a story. So she was going on a trip with an organization that she was a part of, and we had got into where we wasn't really talking. So she started calling me back on a regular basis, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. Why is she calling me all the time? But I'm happy because when you love somebody, you care about somebody, you want to talk to them. So she's calling me like every day for 2 weeks, and then like right the day before the trip, she was like, "Oh, D, can I have some money to go on the trip?" And I was like, "Okay, cool, no problem." Gave her the bread, and we went on about our business. And one of my partners was part of the organization as well, and he knew we were supposed to have something going on, and he texted me and was like, "Yo, I got your girl, ain't you and such and such dealing with each other?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, man, she on this bus, like, dealing with a whole another nigga, like she kissing on this man, boom, 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 boom." So I had gotten a lot older and more mature. I was like, okay, well, bro, if you can snap a picture of it, send it to me. He was like, "You serious?" I was like, "Yeah, man." So he said, "You not mad?" I was like, "Not at all, bro. If you can snap a picture, just send it to me." So he snapped the picture, he sent it to me, and I blew it up to a 14:9.
Petty.
So yeah, I was a petty Scorpio, still am, but I think I've grown a lot. So she came back from the trip, and I went over to her house where her mother was and her sister was, and me and her were just talking. And I said, I want to ask you a question. And she was like, "What? What's up, babe?" Blah, blah, blah. Acting like, all innocent, like, I said, "What's up with you and such?" And she was like, "What?" I said, "What's up with you and such?" And she blew a whole gasket, made a whole big deal, raised all this hell. I'm tripping, I'm insecure. So then I slid the picture over to her. She's like, "What's this?" I said, "Why don't you go ahead and open it?" And when she opened it, it's a picture of her kissing another nigga. So I got up from where I was, my seating position, and I said, "All you had to do was tell me this is what you wanted to do, and I would have let you go and do what you got to do. Ladies, I'm the type of man, tell me what's up. It's nothing. It's not a problem. We can go about our way." So she was like, "Oh, this not what it looked like." Said,
"That's exactly what it looks like."
Exactly what it's like. You kissing another nigga. So, make a long story short, I left, and I drove away, and I thought that chapter of my life was done. And unfortunately, we had a bunch of more chapters left. But I'm gonna swing it over to Josh.
Yeah, because you gave me a good pinpoint of what I want to talk about. So, a trait that I had through, a couple of exes, but one in particular was lying. Like when it came to
my God.
The lying aspect, that's a very toxic trait. And I had to look past it. I was googly eyed over this woman, but I know she lying. And it's crazy because she lied so well and so good that had I had not
seen
have
it for
the
yourself,
proof, I would have believed it. Guys, when I tell you this, there were tears. There was everything. The justification that she put behind her voice. I'm like, damn, why does she sound like she's telling the truth? Snap out of it, Josh. We've seen it. Oh, okay, you're right. And it was crazy. Like the lies that kept coming. I had to realize that, I've learned from a lot of my exes. I've learned so much from a lot of my exes. One of the things that I learned is a person's going to be who they are.
Amen to that, Josh.
And they're going to tell you who they are throughout your entire relationship. Whether you choose to believe them or listen to it or not is on you. So she was a liar, and it got to the point where the lies came so much, I became numb to it. Where I'm like, oh well, she's lying, but I know she is, and that's just her. Ha 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 ha. Right? So it became to the point where whatever she said out of her mouth, it was a lie first, and I have to go fact check it. Like I have to go see if it's true. And that was very dangerous. So what I did to handle that particular trait was have a conversation with myself, because it was getting to the point where I've been with this woman for a while and I had to make a decision. So I sat down and I talked to myself and I said, self, can you be with this woman? She has all these things about her that you love. You love this, you love that, you love this, you love that. But she's a liar and a manipulator. Can you stay with her? Had myself had said, yeah, we can do it, I'd probably still be in that relationship. Myself turned around and said, hell, no. Can't. Like I knew who I was, so I dealt with that by having that conversation with myself, and completely I had to rip myself from that situation. I had to ignore the advances, ignore the phone calls, ignore the usual trickery of behind, yeah, I'm gonna lie, but he gonna still be with me anyway because I am who I am or whatever, blah blah blah. So I had to have that conversation with myself to help me deal with that toxic trait for her to become an ex.
So just to piggyback off what Josh said, I can't speak for no other men, but lying is like something I don't understand why people do. What do I mean by that? The truth is a lot easier to face. A lie is something that can be hurtful to both you and that person. So I always encourage my friends, family, girlfriend, wife, fiance, whomever, just be honest with me, because if you tell me the truth, I can face that. If you tell me the truth, I can prepare myself for that. But if you lie, and now I know you're lying, and I catch you on the lie, now I have to both prepare for trying to forgive you for lying, and then the lie that you told hurts 10 times worse when I find out it's a lie. Right. So what I'm trying to say is we have to be more honest with each other. And that goes back to episode 1, communication. Like, it's never a reason to lie. I know you want to hide from the truth. I know the truth might hurt, but I'm telling you, you're better off just saying what it is.
I don't want to say it as in, like you be using the term with me, rainbows and butterflies, like it's just easy to do that.
It's not.
There are definitely reasons.
It's terrible.
There's definitely reasons
to
lie.
It's trash.
There's definitely reasons to lie, but be very careful about the reasons you choose to lie, and be very careful about the lie you're about to tell.
And you got to be ready for the repercussions of the lie if it's found out too.
And once you do pick a lie or whatever, and you can't keep up with it, because remember, lying is a lot of work. You got to keep up with that lie. You got to make sure you said this and it matches up. But once you do tell that lie and you get caught in that lie, at least own up to the lie and then explain to the person why you lied. But for them that just you lie and you keep defending that lie.
Oh, let me jump in right there. So this same ex I was talking about earlier, y'all. When I say I caught this person in so many, not even lies, fallacies, fairy tales, fiction. That's how deep the lies were. And I'm the type of person where I'm going to take you at face value. If you tell me, babe, that ain't true, it ain't true. I'm not going to investigate it. I'm not going to do none of that. But when I start to see changes in your behavior and I start to see things that alarm me, now I'm going to go investigating what it is that I thought you was lying about from the beginning. And I had an ex that, you know, she mentally just couldn't tell me the truth. And I don't understand what it was. But let me point this out. When you dealing with somebody that's toxic, contrary to popular belief, that means you toxic too. Because once you understand that a person is not good for you, you understand that a person means you doesn't mean you any well, means you harm, not saying they're doing it on purpose, and you still choose to engage with them back and forth.
Hold on, make it more simple than that. Once you realize this person is hindering you and not helping you.
Yes, simple as that. And you still choose to stay in a connection with them, you are now participating in their toxicity.
Yes.
Because a relationship can't be toxic with one person.
Facts.
It needs two toxic people. See, unlike most men, me and Josh know how to take responsibility for our actions. In my relationships that didn't fail, I had part in it not succeeding as well. I had a major part in it failing as well. There were times where I didn't communicate the way I was supposed to. There were times where I held things in where I should have been more outspoken with it. And there were times where I started being petty and started doing things to this person out of spite and out of me feeling some type of way.
Yeah,
I'm man enough to say that. But at the end of the day, we're not talking about me. We're talking about what happened with them, how I grew from it. But before you can grow, you have to look in the mirror and be like, okay, what did you do? What did you contribute to this? And how are you going to go forward and make sure that you don't repeat these things? Because toxicity, it go both ways. It ain't just from one person. If a person is, like we said in a couple episodes ago, if a person is mentally abusing you, verbally abusing you, and you're choosing to stay in that and let it spin around and spin around and spin around, and you're not looking for an exit strategy, then there's something within you that feeds off of that. There's something within you that you have to be around that. That's something that makes you tick. The toxicity of the arguments and the fights and all that. Your soul feeds off of that. So you have to figure out.
Come back to us, D. Come back to us. Come here.
You got to figure out what's going on.
All right, there you go.
You got to figure it out.
Lord, Barry White, Barry, oh baby.
You got to figure it out.
Barry, all right.
So another thing I want to talk about is, Josh, how did you maintain your own well-being while dealing with a toxic ex?
Oh,
yeah. Go ahead and get into that. Because I'm gonna tell you how I maintain mine.
Well, I'll give you my recipe. My recipe was very simply put. I had to fortify me before anybody else.
Hold on, fortify.
I had to fortify me.
Get yourself together.
I had to make sure. I had to make sure I was satisfied with the person that I was looking at in the mirror. There was a certain thing that I did from my first relationship that I was in. Again, no names, but my first real relationship that I consider my real relationship. I had to basically feel the rawness with no protection of being cheated on. And
Josh, somebody cheated on you? That's crazy. You got a beard.
I did have a beard back then.
I know. That's why I said that.
Bastard. So anyway, she slept with somebody else. And back then we were together. She stopped speaking to me for a week. And I couldn't understand why. They
usually do that.
So she stopped, but and I was trying to get in contact with her, and I remember not being able to do so. And I text, "Hey, listen, I don't know, what did I do? What happened? I just want to make sure you're safe. You're okay."
Respond. Taking responsibility for some shit he didn't even do.
Well, I didn't know what was happening. I was just panicking. I knew I was in love with this woman, and I wasn't getting nothing back from her. And I'm trying to think of all the things that I could have done to create this, but it got to the point where I was so frustrated. I said, "Look, I just want to make sure you're alive or whatever. I don't want to contact your sister, your mom or whatever. Just let me know you're okay." She texted back, "I'm okay. I just need space." To me back then, space means we're broken up. Like, we need time. We're done.
Facts.
So I'm thinking we're done. That Friday, I get a call like everything is fine and okay. And when I got that call, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I overreacted. Maybe in my mind, she wasn't trying to break it off with me. She was just, she just needed some time for real. And she invites me over to the house. We She cooked for me. She had some lingerie on, and you know, we do what we do. We did what we did, and I get a call after that on my way home, and she's crying, and I'm like, yo, what's up? You know,
she was crying because you laid that thing down, bro. Like, no, but
that's my dumb ass. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I was so good. I'm like,
oh, that's not what happened.
Nah, no. I was like,
oh wow.
I was like, what's wrong with you? And I think I called her like my queen or something. I gave her a nickname. I called her that. She tells me I'm nobody's queen, you know, or whatever. I said, what's wrong with you? She was like, I have something to tell you. I slept with someone.
Whoa, hold up. So your girl goes missing for up to the amount of days. You finally get back in contact with her. You go see her. You drop the Triton on her. You leave. She calls you to tell you she cheated on you after y'all just slept together.
Well, in her perspective, in her mind, which I can see it now. Like I see her perspective now as an adult. She was like, technically, I cheated on him with you because we were broken up. I said, well, when the hell did we break up?
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? But anyway,
that's cap.
But, yeah,
okay.
it is what it is. People got two different perspectives, so I was like, okay.
No.
But I kept saying we could not have, because you know, you called me, everything was fine. You love me, I love you, and when did this happen or whatever? But anyway, I had to feel that with no experience. I had to feel that not being as grown or seasoned as I am, and I did not.
So this is early. This is early in adulthood.
This is early. This is 19, man. Maybe.
Ooh,
I want to say.
I know that thing burned, Josh.
Boy, it was hurt.
I know that thing
hurt.
Hey,
Tim McGraw and Nelly came out, because it's all in my head. I think about it over, and I had that junk on repeat.
So Josh, I want to jump in real quick to respond to that type of hurt. So the same person I've been talking about this whole episode, when we broke up, I think the third time or whatever, y'all, I went through a lot with her. Just don't judge me. It's over now.
Judge him.
I know you judge me, Josh, because you already know what I'm talking about.
Judge him.
When we broke up the third time, it was like, and she claims that she don't remember none of this, y'all. So this is all fallacies that all my family remembers, all my friends remember. She doesn't. Josh, I was so stressed out, and my brother, my homies from back then, they're a witness to this. I was so stressed out that my hair started falling out, bro. My head was patchy. I went to the dermatologist and was like, yo, what's going on? And she was like, Mr. Taylor, I can give you a steroid, but I don't know, you don't have no bacteria, no nothing. So I was going to church heavy then. I went to my pastor, shout out Genuine Love Ministries, and he was like, Daniel, you stressing. And I'm like,
heavy stress.
I'm 20 years old. What could I possibly be
stressing? Has no age limit.
He was like, it's that girl. You stressing. And I'm like, okay. So my brother Otis Flowers, I can say his name because, you know, he was like, hey, D, nah, we're not doing that. You got to pick yourself up. You got to shake it off, no pun intended. And you got to move on, because this girl's stressing you out, bro. And when I took that advice and I really started to get back to myself, nigga, all my hair grew back.
Bro.
I said, I guess it really was stress.
See, you had the advice. So when we asked, how did you maintain yourself? Like I told you, I
had a tribe.
Yeah, I didn't have a tribe.
I had a tribe of people around me. My homeboys, they was cutthroat. They was like, D, nah, not you. Not the one who grew up picked on and didn't care. Like you can't let this one girl bring you down. And I did for a long time, y'all. I'm talking about a long time. Like,
But even with that situation, like even with mine, what happened after that was where the example of what I had to do moving forward that helped me through all of my other exes and their toxic trait. This was the origin story of it, where I went through that pain and it was bad, and we still tried to make it work. But then I became bitter. I became spiteful. Like I kept throwing in her face, well, you the one that cheated. You did this, you did that, or whatever. And she would take it. She would take it in stride.
She better?
Yeah, but she was like, I did it out. But now I looked at myself and I was not happy with what I saw in me. I was like, this ain't Josh, bro. Like I'm over telling this girl that I love her, but I am getting joy out of her pain for what she did to me.
Yeah, take that.
I'm looking at my revenge. Like every time I had a chance to hit over the head with, well, you the one that cheated. You slept with somebody else. Be sure not to sleep with that guy. That brought me joy. That was dangerous. When I woke up and looked at myself and I'm just like, I'm no longer me. I had to know who I was and be satisfied with me to defend myself from myself. So then
that's crazy.
I told her.
That's crazy.
I had to end it. She didn't want to end it. I had to end it because I told her, look, I made you a promise. I told you that I would protect you from any and everything that would hurt you.
Even
I
myself.
never thought it would be me. But it is, and we got to end it this time around because we tried to make a long distance thing work. It was so much going on. And, and we even tried to, remain friends after that. And it was crazy. But that was the origin story of me finding out the defense mechanism for all this toxicity that any exes would bring me after that. So that's it. Once I found out who I was, I stood with that. And through all my other exes moving forward, I was able to navigate and never change who I am unless it was a change that was for the better and not for anything that was harmful to me or the other person.
Josh, it's good to hear you say that. It's good to see that it's times that we start off the hero in our story and become the villain in someone else's. And that just speaks to growth, understanding, and situations that occur in our lives. I'll fast forward to my more recently when I was an adult. That same young lady, y'all, same girl. Yeah,
that's why I say judge him.
Yeah, I'm judge me. I'm still. I was dumb. We got in a relationship against Josh's agreements. He told me not to do it. Did it anyway. And things were going great at first. We went through our honeymoon phase and everything, and then I realized that this wasn't going to work very, very early. But because I was so in love and because I had went through so much with her already and we had come so far, I wanted to make it work. I wanted to take accountability and being the best man that I could be. And what basically happened is that we were not ready to be in that type of relationship with each other. We hadn't really dated each other. We really hadn't get to know each other, even though we had known each other, if y'all understand what I'm saying. Being with the woman, and what I learned from that relationship was I was a horrible communicator. That's why we always preach communication to y'all so bad. I was a horrible communicator, and I harbored feelings and emotions. And if anyone knows anything about Scorpios, we're very, 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 very calculated people. We measure 10 times and cut once. So I had to realize that everything can't be seen my way. Everything can't be done my way.
That's a big one.
And I learned that in that relationship. I learned how to communicate in that relationship. I learned how not to hold things within, because when you're picked on when you're young, you internalize it. When people talk about you and say things about you and you don't feel loved, I'm not talking about from my family loved me. I'm talking about from a person you're trying to seek affection in. You seem to deal with things because you feel like you can never get another one of her. Like, oh, she's the only one that ever really cared, even though she treated me like crap all these years. I'll give her a chance because I can't do better. I used to feel that way, y'all. Yes, me. All this chocolate goodness and swag.
You were settling.
I used to settle. And the only person that settled, only a person that settles can understand where I'm coming from. And I'm going to say this to you. You don't have to settle. There's somebody else out there who's better, who's more suited. Don't settle because you think you won't find something better out there. If you don't find something better out there, settle with yourself, because that's who you got to live with anyway. And I was settling. And
bro, I had a woman tell me she settled for
me. Josh,
I had a woman tell me that. Like, she told me straight up, because I was like, I don't understand, why are you doing this to me? Why? Because I couldn't figure out what was happening. Why are the lies happening? Why is this? What is it? What are you doing? And she told me straight up. She tell you the truth. I settled, and I'm just like, oh shit.
Wow. And I applaud her honesty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What can you say? But I had a woman tell me. I gave her, I said, hey, if you could be with anyone, who would you be with? She said me and another nigga that had just ran her through the dirt, disrespected her, tried her, that I helped pull her out of that situation, thinking that if I pulled you out of this and saved you for this, that you would love me the way I saw you loving this nigga. And that ain't what happened.
So the disrespect came out of the fact that she put you guys on the same playing field. How you, on one hand, was her saving grace, her
Still am, by the way. Still am. Still a saving grace to this day.
Still judging you.
She'll see this.
So still, you're the knight in shining armor. But the other dude, you know, depicting on what she told you, because you weren't there.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely from what she told me.
Because if she lied about it, then to fabricate all those situations and scenarios, there's something mentally wrong with her. But if it wasn't a lie, that's the disrespect. You're going to put me on the same playing field as somebody who's dragging you through the mud.
Come on, somebody, Josh.
And I'm the person that pulled you out of it, but these are the two individuals you see yourself being with. What the hell is wrong with you?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just so y'all not judging me, when that happened,
I'm judging him.
I exploded in a angry rage and was like...
He was very angry.
But it was a very calm anger.
That's the worst kind.
I didn't yell.
That's
I
dangerous.
didn't scream. I simply said, okay. And when I got back home, because she had moved, not telling y'all where she moved, but she had moved. And when I came back home, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing this no more. See,
that was his Super Saiyan moment.
Yeah, I said, no, I can't.
That's
I can't. I will not be toxic anymore. And sometimes you have to end things without telling people you ending things. And just let it just be what it is. Nice. And what I learned from my situation was people will only do to you what you allow them to do. So I can't blame her. I can't blame her for what happened. I can't blame her for all the times I took her back. That was on me. And that's what this episode is about. Y'all thought we was going to get in here and bash our exes and say they didn't know. This is about taking responsibility for your own actions. Like, when I used to talk to Josh about this situation in the beginning, he felt sorry for me. He had empathy. He had sympathy because, you know, but then eventually like, Dyzell, you like that.
Yeah, it's you.
You like it. That's you.
Like, I got a homeboy right now.
Oh, I know who you talk about.
That was going through something.
That's our dog right there.
Love him to death. I love him. But because I couldn't understand, why would y'all niggas call me? Why y'all? Because I ain't telling y'all what y'all want to hear. I'm telling you how it is. I'm like, how many times you done call me for this female? After the first time you done called me and we still talking about her, it's a you thing. It's not a her thing. Because anything that she's giving you and you're repeating this to me, that's on you. Stop blaming her. She is no longer about her. Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, that's all on me.
Listen, y'all, we can sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end, talk about situations and things, but I just wanted to give y'all a look into the people who you're watching. Like, Josh has been through up-teen amount of things because we done sat playing video games late night talking about all type of stuff. Same thing with me.
I will say this. For these people that are asking me, they're like, how do you know so much? How you know this and this and that? Like, dude, I'm not up here. I'm not married. I don't have, this so much experience under my belt as being successful in a lot of relationships. I'm like, people just started coming to me because the advice I was giving it to them was real and it was working. It was working. And I'm like, they're like, dang, where'd you get that from? This came from a lot of pain and some experience in, relationships that don't work. But more so, my experiences come from self-awareness. I spent a lot of time with me and I realized what I like, what I don't like, my negotiables, my non-negotiables, what I'm budging from, what I'm not budging from, what I can move with, what I can't move with. I spent time with me. I got me here and here. I can go out on a date with myself and be satisfied. I can spend a day with me. Me time is huge for me. So it's like, once I did that and I said, I like Josh. I love Josh. That's when it helped. Like,
I'm a piggyback off that real quick. So, and this will be the last.
Because a lot of people I'll let Josh
jump in this at the end. For a very long time, ladies and gentlemen, I was not satisfied with what I see in the mirror. I'm low key still not. I'm working on it. Y'all don't see me. I'm slimming it down and stuff. But anyway, it's not important. I didn't like who I saw physically. I didn't like who I saw mentally. I've always had a strong spirit, man, but I always thought that I see why women don't want you. Look at you. You feel what I'm saying? That was a me thing. That had nothing to do with nobody around me. Like, I've had women come up to me like, I've always had a crush on you. It's just, I didn't know how to approach you. And I'm looking at them like, you could have just said something. But I realized I wasn't approachable because I wasn't secure in who I was. in love with me. And after my last relationship, well, not my last relationship, after my last relationship, I sat in the dark, and I'm not playing with y'all, all the lights off. And I used to pray and be like, God, I need you to help me fall in love with myself.
Let's go.
I said, because how can I love somebody or say I love somebody or say I want to spend the rest of my life with someone else when I can't even be comfortable in the skin that you gave me?
And we have moments I speak life into this dude. I'm like, do you know who you are?
And
are you serious?
It took people like Josh and people like Chancellor and people like my god brother Otis and people like my brother Fred. It like, D, you don't know who you is, bro. And for a long time I didn't. And it took a lot of me work. It took a lot of, okay, I'ma just stay to myself. I'ma go to the movies by myself. I'ma go out to eat by myself. I'ma go, I'ma go to well, I don't go to concerts, but just museums and stuff like that. And once I became comfortable with who I was and what I bring to the table, because contrary to popular belief, for those of y'all watching this podcast, my name is DJ Dyzell for a reason. I do a lot of other things for those that don't know me. I'm a virtuoso musician. I'm a music mogul. I'm doing all those things. We're building $1 trillion empire. And once I realized that a regular person can't do that, and I knew my worth, and I started carrying myself like a king, I started attracting a bunch of queens. Women started coming to me. They started flocking to me. And I'm like, Josh, I got all of it. He was like, you been had that. You just didn't know who you was, and you didn't carry yourself properly. So I'm saying out there to the person
are the chosen one.
who feels like you're not worth it. I'm talking to the person out there who's down on themselves. I'm talking to the person out there who has low self-esteem or suffering from depression. You are worth it. You have to understand that. You have to understand that first. Nobody can do it for you. You got to do the work yourself. Pick yourself up and go do what it is you want to do. But before you can do that, you got to spend your time with yourself. Get to know God. And once you get to know God, you can get to know the God that created you. You can get to know you. And that's the key to it all. That's the key to success in anything. You have to know oneself. And a lot of people say, oh, I know myself. No, you don't. Oh, I love myself. No, you don't. Because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't let nobody treat you wrong. If you loved yourself. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't let nobody talk to you any kind of way. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't let nobody talk down on you. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't let nobody disrespect you. That's how you know you love yourself.
Hold on, we're missing one thing. If you love yourself, nobody can take you out of your character.
At all.
Without
period.
you deciding to do so.
Everything that you want is at your grasp when it comes to mental healing, spiritual healing, and even physical healing. And mental stability in our culture is starting to become a subject that's always brought up. You watch other podcasts, you watch TV, everybody like, how's your mental health? How's your mental health? I love that. But I don't want to know how your mental health is, how your self-health is. Within, how you feel within yourself.
But the mental is part of that. So everything, yeah, mental is part of that. And I will say this because it's easy for us to point the finger and tell them not to do something. But the question comes out to, how do you get this done? We always say the same thing. We like, people can talk a lot of mad crap, but what's the procedure? This is how you do it. This is how you know if you have self-awareness and you're in love with yourself or you do love yourself. Spend a day with you. No social media, no distractions. You spend a day with you. If you can't be with you for that day
without going on social media, without being distracted or calling somebody.
If you haven't mastered just being with yourself, not wanting nobody's company, stuff like that, or I got to be out, I got to do this, I have to do that. If you can't just sit home and just be with yourself, you're not ready.
You're not.
Something's going on with you that you got to figure out.
Stay your ass aside.
You should be able to wake up, pray, stretch, exercise, and be happy from that. Set your whole itinerary. Today, I'm going to do all these things. Then I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to go to the movies and buy myself some popcorn. I'm going to drink a Coke. I'm going to laugh at this movie, or I'm going to cry at this movie, or I'm going to be excited from this movie. And from that, I'm going to get some dinner at Chipotle. From Chipotle, I'm going to bring it home, and I'm going to come home. I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to go to bed. You spent 24 hours with yourself, and you were satisfied as if though somebody was there with you. You have made it. You have mastered
you ready to
yourself.
Come out. You ready. Listen, and this will be my last thought before we end the episode. Everything revolves around you in your world. It's your world. We just live in your world. My world is my world. Y'all live in my world, and vice versa. And if the person whose world it is don't have it together, how you expect the rest of the world to stay together in your world? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. This has been the season finale of the Disrespectful Truth Podcast. I got my brother JTM Josh the Man. Shout out to Chancellor Trump. He's on hiatus, but he'll be back for season 2. We love y'all. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Shout out to Creative Media Group for a great season. We love y'all.
Hold on, real quick. We looking for.
Did this nigga just interrupt?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, dude. We looking for how many likes we looking for? How many comments we looking for?
Listen,
how many views we looking for season 2? Let's go.
Listen, if y'all can get me,
let's get it
up to 1,000 views per video, we'll drop season 2.
Let's go.
We almost got 500 subscribers.
Let's go.
We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get some. Listen, the podcast is growing exponentially. You know, we're going to give y'all more shorts. Me and Josh are going to come back and do basically episodes of us responding to the response from the episode.
We got a lot.
We got Plush Fibonacci coming back. We got a lot of stuff in store for y'all. We just need y'all to continue to share the message and spread the message of love and understanding in our culture and in relationships and in life. So, like I was saying before Josh interrupted me.
Sorry.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all next season. Holla.